Let's get right into it.
Number 7, ignoring the don't panic rule. Stay calm, don't panic, think clearly. Sounds like sage survival advice, right? Except humans are terrible at following it when life decides to throw a literal apocalypse at you. Your body is basically a fireworks show of stress hormones that don't care about logic. When you panic, your sympathetic nervous system flips the switch to full-on fight-or-flight mode. Heart racing, blood pressure skyrocketing, vision narrowing to tunnel mode. Suddenly, you're not thinking about making smart choices, you're just running in circles or yelling at inanimate objects. Ancient humans needed this for tiger attacks or sudden floods, but now panicking might mean taking a wrong turn in the woods, dropping your water bottle in a river, or doing something dramatically stupid, like trying to wrestle a raccoon. The irony, the more you tell yourself stay calm, the more your brain goes, ha, let's see how fast we can make them sweat. Your cortisol spikes like it's auditioning for a villain role in your body's horror movie. And if you panic long enough, you start making decisions that are objectively worse than doing nothing at all. Basically, ignoring this myth thinking you can rely solely on calm reasoning is one of evolution's funniest setups. Your brain is still running on Pleistocene panic protocols. So, spoiler alert, in a survival situation, you might scream first and plan second. That's just biology being honest. Number 6, following the North Star blindly. Always head north and you'll survive. That's the kind of advice that makes sense on a camping brochure but could get you lost in record time. Early survival myths treated the North Star like a cosmic GPS, ignoring the fact that humans are terrible at translating celestial navigation into reality, especially without training. Here's the catch. The North Star, while mostly fixed, isn't perfectly above the North Pole. Depending on your location, it's not exactly straight ahead, and if you're relying on it in a stressful survival scenario, you're basically asking a distant star to babysit your poor sense of direction. Clouds, weather, and mountains also love to conspire against your navigational confidence. Oh, and don't forget that being tired, hungry, or dehydrated makes even simple orientation feel like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Historically, humans survived by a combination of instinct, observation, and yes, trial and error, not just pointing to one fixed star and hoping for the best. Relying blindly on the North Star could have meant wandering in circles for days, expending precious calories, and turning what seemed like smart advice into a real-life horror story. Basically, the follow the North Star myth is nature's way of giving you false hope with a side of exhaustion. Number 5, building a fire without fuel. You've seen it in every survival movie. Someone rubs sticks together, sparks fly, and suddenly they have a roaring fire like it's magic. Reality check. Fire is way less forgiving than Hollywood suggests, and trying to start one without proper fuel is basically waving a white flag to hypothermia. Here's the science. Fire needs 3 things: heat, oxygen, and fuel. Your matchless inspiration might provide heat, but if your sticks are wet, or your leaves are damp, or it's snowing, the fire simply won't happen. Early humans had the luxury of knowing exactly what wood burned well, what tinder ignited quickly, and how to shield flames from the wind. Modern myths skip all of that and make it look like friction alone is sufficient. Spoiler, it's not. Trying to light a fire without proper preparation isn't just inefficient, it's dangerous. You waste calories, risk smoke inhalation, and expose yourself to the elements while your body is screaming for warmth. Meanwhile, your imaginary movie montage plays in your head, and reality looks more like you shivering and muttering, "Why did no one tell me this was impossible?" Basically, attempting fire without proper fuel is evolution's way of reminding you that life isn't a cinematic montage. Your ancestors didn't rub sticks randomly, they had skills. You, my friend, have adrenaline and desperation. Number 4, drinking seawater. Ah yes, the classic survival myth, if you're stranded at sea, drink the water around you. Spoiler alert, your body will hate you almost immediately. Seawater is loaded with salt way, more than your kidneys can handle. Downing it is like feeding your internal plumbing system a bucket of molten lava and expecting it to stay calm. When you drink seawater, your kidneys kick into overdrive trying to flush out the extra salt. Problem is, you need more water to do it than you just drank. Congratulations, you've just accelerated dehydration instead of fixing it. Your mouth dries, your head throbs, your stomach churns, and your brain eventually starts staging a revolt. Drinking seawater in a survival scenario is basically signing up for a dehydration speedrun. with nausea and confusion as bonus features. The myth persists because movies love tension and drama. Suddenly, your stranded hero can sip some water and keep going. Reality: you'll be wishing you'd remembered your bottle of plain old fresh water. Even ancient sailors knew the hard truth. Seawater will get you killed faster than hunger or sunburn ever could. Basically, drinking seawater is evolution's way of giving you a hard lesson in math and biology. More salt, wheeze less life. Number 3. Eating raw meat cold. You might think, well, humans ate raw meat for thousands of years. I can handle a raw steak, right? Sure, if you want a front row seat to food poisoning and a very aggressive stomach revolt. Eating raw meat without proper knowledge is one of the fastest ways to turn survival into a horror story starring your own intestines. Back in the day, humans didn't just bite into raw animals blindly. They had fire, drying techniques, fermentation, and a keen sense of which animals were safe to eat raw. Spoiler: very few. Modern myths skip all that nuance and make it seem like a raw steak is magically nutritious and harmless. The reality: raw meat carries bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, parasites like tapeworms, and general microscopic chaos. Your digestive system is basically waving a red flag and yelling, "Do you want to die today?" Eating raw meat cold doesn't just risk sickness, it can be deadly in a survival situation where vomiting, diarrhea, or fever can sap your strength and your decision-making ability. The romanticized image of cavemen chomping on a leg of mammoth ignores one important fact. Those early humans were either incredibly lucky or highly selective. Basically, chowing down on raw, unprepared meat is nature's way of saying, "You wanted protein? How about a crash course in biology instead?" Number 2. Drinking pond water raw. You're parched, you've been walking for hours, and suddenly there's a perfectly still pond shimmering like a mirage. Survival instinct kicks in. Drink it. Now. Bad idea. Pond water is basically a microbial rave, and you're the main course. Even if it looks clean, pond water is teeming with bacteria, protozoa, and tiny parasites that will immediately remind you how delicate human digestion is. Giardia, Cryptosporidium, E. coli. The list goes on. One sip and your stomach starts staging a protest. Your intestines might go on strike, and your brain starts questioning every life choice that led to this moment. Back in the day, humans had ways to purify water: boiling, filtering through sand, or even using certain plants to kill pathogens. Modern survival myths act like you can drink straight from the source and keep walking. The cruel irony? Drinking pond water might temporarily quench thirst, but within hours it could leave you weaker, feverish, and in a literal biohazard-induced nightmare. The very source that promised life is now actively conspiring against you. Basically, raw pond water is nature's way of saying, "You wanted hydration? Here's chaos with a side of regret." Number 1. The "you can survive anything alone." Here's the mother of all survival myths. That humans are meant to just wander off alone, rely on instinct, and somehow outsmart nature without training, tools, or backup. It sounds empowering until you remember one thing: humans are social animals, and our brains evolved to survive together, not as solo lone wolves. Trying to survive entirely alone is basically inviting every tiny misstep to turn into a full-blown disaster. Lost your bearings? No one to correct your navigation mistakes? Injured? No one to help you move or apply a bandage? Dehydrated, hungry, freezing, stressed, and panicking? Yep, all amplified because humans are terrible at managing extreme survival conditions alone. That's why tribes survived and lone wanderers, well, most didn't. The myth persists because it's sexy in movies and motivational posts. Heroic, gritty, I can conquer nature vibes, but in reality, ignoring the social survival principle is a quick ticket to catastrophe. Evolution didn't design us as solo adventurers. It designed us as collaborative problem solvers. Without allies, every small mistake snowballs into a life-threatening situation. Faster than you can say, "I should have stayed home." Basically, the ultimate survival hack your biology wants you to remember. Humans are built for teamwork, not Hollywood-style lone heroics. Ignore this, and nature has a very dark sense of humor. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.